So the Google Pixel 8a is Google Pixel's Android phone released back in 2024 as their flagship A series phone. And yeah, first I would say, after the first few weeks, I love this phone. You know how you keep a phone for a week and you're like, I think it's amazing. After a year though, on the other hand, I feel like this phone is kind of just, it's asking me it just leaves me asking for a little more. Whether that's in performance, screen real estate, or just in general, I think you get the idea. This phone just comes a bit too short on too many points to be able to, for me to actually sell this phone on camera and try and sell this phone to you, because it's a great phone, but for most people, I think you'd be wanting just a little more. Welcome to my Pixel 8a review in 2025. Let's get straight into it. Hey, what's up guys, this is meant to take back another video, pumping to do this scripted and unscripted at the same time. We'll see how it goes, and yeah, welcome to my Pixel 8a review. So as I've said, yeah, this phone just leaves me with wanting a little more. Performance, just anything. It just, unfortunately, just using this phone after a year, something just screams not good enough. And it's really a shame because I think this phone had so much potential. Despite this being an A series phone, to be fair, we have to give some credit where credit is due. This phone, yes, this phone has good performance. It's got a 10-G3 chip, which more on this later, for the most part performs well on a day-to-day basis. Yes, this phone has a 120Hz display. Yes, this phone works well with the camera, which is probably one of the best things about this phone, including the design. But no, this phone just doesn't feel premium. It doesn't feel like it's a proper good phone, in my opinion. It just doesn't have that feeling. No, there's no even bezels around the screen. We have uneven bezels, which makes this phone even feel less expensive. And no, it just doesn't sit right with me. The performance, everything, the whole package could have been better, and that's why I feel like Google's done a hard job here. But yes, this phone does have a lot of features, but of course, in life, it's about having a balance, and this phone is just about that. Before we move on, let's talk about the pillars, right? So the pillars, if you build a building with pillars, right, every single pillar has to be strong to be able to withhold a good building, correct? Well, in this case, the pillars are 100% uneven, and this is why this phone, I think, comes at a cost, especially for the £450 price tag. Is this phone really worth it? It's debatable. I know I might just be talking. I hope it doesn't look like I'm just talking to you guys and saying, oh, this is this, this is that. It's not true. This phone has a lot of good things, but I'm going to be talking in this video from real world experience after using this phone for almost a year now. And yeah, so I'm hoping that this comes clear to you guys. First up, the design. And as mentioned before, these segments are going to be based on the user experience and not just saying, oh, it's got a good design, it's not going to be about specs. Most importantly, in a review, in my opinion, is user experience, and you guys will be seeing that hopefully in this review if this video is successful. So the design of this phone, I'd say, is probably one of the best features about it. It's clean, it's premium, and it's got good features such as a well composited back design of porcelain. The color is porcelain with also a Gorilla Glass 3 screen. I'd say this as a compliment and as a good analogy. That this is one of finding one of those smooth rocks, or one of those maybe a gem. There's a better name for a rock that's a gem. I can't remember the name. A geode, like finding a geode in one of those smooth rocks under the sand, and it kind of, whilst that is a compliment, it kind of shows how this phone stands out for the best in this case. With the design, there's no problems. It feels premium, and after a year of using it, most importantly, the premium design of the phone is still there, and that's what's most important. Regardless, you'll get a premium design with this phone, and design is not one of the most important things, but it's good that it seems Google's nailed design on the head. That's most important. So, in general speaking, using this phone for five years, sorry, I was looking at the timer, for 1 year, and I've had an amazing design with no durability issues. More so yeah, later. But most importantly, in the design of this phone looks great and has had no durability issues in terms of looking less great over this past year, and I've had no problems with the design. Now this pillar is well built for design. I think that's a good analogy. This pillar is well built, it's sturdy, maybe got a little bit of, flexiness here and there, not literally, but with, not the phone itself, but within that, it's great, but it's not like outstanding. Of course, it's an A series phone. It's not like Google gave you this phone and expected everything to be perfect or very good like a premium phone. It is an A series. A stands for amateur, maybe not in this case, but yeah, actually, what if the title of this video is Pixel 8a review in 2025? A stands for amateur. That's a good title. I might change it. Anyway, as YouTubers, we think about videos and titles whilst we're filming it, and when I have some exciting videos based on YouTube and how to create a YouTube channel and how YouTubers make videos later on. Anyway, yeah, so in this case, A stands for amateur, and it's not great. The day-to-day usage, the design and the cameras, whilst being most of the important things in a phone is what's great about this phone, and there's other places where this phone falls short, which I'll touch on later. But yeah, the porcelain design with slightly uneven bezels on a day-to-day basis still looks great. In terms of any lighting conditions, these still works great. Like in the day and the night, this phone maintains its nice sheen, if that's a word. Yeah, like the shine. And yeah, no, generally speaking, I would say it is also waterproof, which is good to note. Looks like there's a good angle from Google about durability. Here we have good durable design of, obviously, IP67, which is still pretty good. It can be underwater for 30 minutes. I was in a holiday I was pretty much filming underwater, and this phone worked fine. Of course, be careful with using this underwater, because you did have the notification of saying liquid debris found in the USB port. Please take it out. But yeah, overall the design of this phone is one of the best things. This phone shines in terms of design, and there's no problem to it. After just over a year, it works great, and I've noticed no problems with the design. Anyway, let's move
on. In my head. Yep.
Okay, so general user experience with Pixel 8a, we get some great results. It seems that Google have yet again knocked it out.
On the face,
now, I say this, and I say user experience is one of the best things about this phone. Honestly, using this phone on a day-to-day basis would leave you surprised, and of course in a good way. This phone has great performance, including the Tensor G3 chip, which compared to the new G5s and Pixel 10s should give you a good performance. It's like having, for example, let's compare this with Samsung's FE versions of phones. This is like an FE version of being a Pixel 8a, but of course on a day-to-day basis still delivers great results. I do love using this phone on a day-to-day basis, and I don't think you guys will have any reasons not to use this or buy this phone in 2025. If I'm being honest, the user experience is so good that it just feels fluid. Now this phone of course has a 120Hz display, with of course a great display in itself, which I'll talk about later. It just comes across and comes together to create a great package, which most other cheaper phones don't have, and all phones with the same price just don't have the same user experience as a Pixel will. And having a Pixel phone of course have better ecosystem features with Pixel Buds, Pixel Watch and more. So obviously the user experience is great, and I really do like it with this phone.
This isn't a view, then what is? Look at the view we've got behind me. Of course, if we were taking photos with the Pixel 8a as an example, this phone would do a stellar job. With 64 megapixel wide and 30 megapixel ultra wide, other way around, sorry. Yes, that's correct, and we have great performance. So getting photos of wide spaces like the one I've got here will always be successful, which is what I love with this phone. You can get great photos at a good distance, and it almost always works on time. So yeah, let's take some photos. Let's go. As always, really good results.
If you got cash, you buy one small thing. To make that decision, have to come in.
Yeah, isn't it?
I mean, for this platform.
as always, really good results.
Alright, so with the cameras with the Pixel 8a, I think we've got a good package here. Now, first on using the cameras, I was like, you know what, are we getting there? Are we close to, pro level? And then I thought, actually, what am I talking about? This is an A-series phone, isn't it? So yeah, just to conclude this segment of the video, the cameras are good. And when I say good, I mean they're usable for the most part. You can use the camera on a daily basis to its fullest, and I do like using the cameras. They take great photos, front and rear cameras. I'll take your front camera selfie right now to show you guys what it's like. As you can see, palm timer, you can put the palm up to start a timer with just this. There you go. And I did the phone looks a bit weak, just got my palm up.
All this other bitterness can fade away. It doesn't matter how long it keeps telling you don't love me. Nothing in my pocket, but I'm still okay. All I really know is how I feel today. Oh, I got $1 in my pocket. See you when I really wanna rock it. Trying to have some fun with the sun.
This is the most ultra wide camera, which gets really good photos on a daily basis. Zooming into things like hotels, when I was on holiday, I could tell that whilst it wasn't ideal, you could see some of the detail, and the detail is always good in a camera. You can see the detail where the camera could be improved, perhaps where there could have been a bit more detail, but also how the camera did well to show up, and also not to literally show up, but obviously the camera did well to show the detail that I wanted. So in the night, you could get some really nice photos, and during the day, the cameras with this phone are great. During the night, you can start to take a dip, but overall and in general, this camera is probably good enough for a relatively amateur photographer who likes to take good photos, but nothing more, because obviously this is an A-series phone, and the cameras, of course, are some of the best things about this A-series phone, which to be honest is not great, but yeah, that's the camera. With this phone, of course, you have a very good software which aids the screen's performance on a day-to-day basis. I must say, using the screen is a great performance. It's great to use. I would say I've got no problems with using this device as a proper phone to test performance and use a proper performance phone. But I would say that from time to time, of course, it has the dips and it's not the best. To go in depth, we have a 2340 by 1080, 1080p, 420 ppi per inch, 430 I think, and which provides good screen quality. Now comparing this to a Pro phone, you can see that this phone doesn't come to scratch. It isn't even an older Pro phone with the Pixel 6 Pro. The screen is not as good. It's a Pro phones are made for Pro phones, and this is not a Pro phone. So we can't exactly be surprised, can we? But no, generally speaking, this phone has a good design that I think for the most part, kind of just shows its quality, and it's got a great design, including the screen. Of course, the screen is good. It's got 120 refresh rate, which I think on a day-to-day basis actually makes this tangible difference now. Google, well done here. You've done a good job with the refresh rate. You've actually, genuinely, the refresh rate here has actually helped me, and hopefully other users watching this video helped me to be able to use this and actually kind of be. Definitely the 120 Hz refresh rate definitely helps with the performance of the phone. And generally speaking, okay, I think to be fair in this review, I might have done, hopefully not you guys a bad job, but I think I've been quite negative in this review. Some of my negativity I think is actually relatively fair, but some of it I think it's gone a bit over the top for the most part. If you look at this phone as a whole, some of the things I've been saying about some of the features I think are true and probably fair in my opinion. And it's so important in my reviews that I give my honest opinion and not just cloud it over because I'm getting sponsored, which I'm not, of course. So I'm just being honest with you guys. But on a whole, and it's a very difference, on a whole, Google has put together a good package here that on a day-to-day basis is a nice phone to use. I don't have problems using this phone. This phone has so many great features that at this point, we have to give this phone, a fair shot at, getting it wrong and sometimes not being as good as a performer as other phones in its price range. And I love using the Pixel 8a on a day-to-day basis, even in 2025 when this phone obviously has its counterparts being the 9a and other phones. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy using this phone for the most part. And if you did, for the most part, hopefully, subscribe down below, like, and I'll see you guys very soon. That is Pixel 8a in 2025. It's quite a long video, but of course, hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, like, and peace out. See you guys soon.